It's a neat little underpass. Here's a chance for a two-point attempt anyway, and a foul beforehand. 2 points is there for for, I should say, Ian Cigar, and he draws the foul, so a chance for a three-point play.
It's a nice pick and roll there. Again, he posted up off the glass.
He's pleased with the result. Great Britain, Canada. Two of the best four nations in the world. I don't think there's any disputing that. Australia, of course, up there, if not the best nation. The US of A, you'd have to throw them in. So, of the best four nations in the world, we've probably got three of them here for this very important tournament. And it looks like being a fairly even one as it's swatted away by David Ing, who's had the noggin polished. That seems to be a bit of a trend these days, Jerry. You shave all your hair off, and our good mate last night, who was being initiated, that was Simon Gibbs. He's lost a lot.
Yeah, he looks much prettier today, I can tell you that.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but anyway. There he is, look. He looks like the FA Cup trophy with those big lifters hanging out, doesn't he? Oh, he's all right. 4 plays 2, early stages, first period. In the red, Great Britain. In the white, Canada. Clashing in men's wheelchair basketball and doing it in style underneath almost. The shot put in. The attempt was made from I.W.B.Delinquents, not quite. Refs Matt Wells, Brian Delaware and Ron Joseph. Seen a big thrill for all the refs here for being in such a tournament.
Absolutely, like these guys. Matt Wells, I think, is an I.W.B.F. referee, so he's refereed the Paralympics. But the other guys haven't. It's a great thrill for them. They really take pride in doing their best.
They do. Richard Peter is number 7. We'll see plenty of him, as we do of David Durapol. I went for the pronunciations and they said, look, he doesn't mind what you call him. David Durapol is good enough. And there's the 2 points. Very neatly done from Robert Hedges. And his 4 matches the 4 from Ian Cigar of Great Britain. And that's the scoreline, each of 2 with 8 to play in the first period.
He's certainly a shooter, David. He's a nice shot from outside and a very nice hook shot.
The voice of Jerry Hewson, long-time coach with the Gliders, taking them to a bronze medal at the last Olympics, a silver medal beforehand. Good to see a lot of your players here today watching. I saw the Gouch zooming around as sprightly as ever.
Yeah. This has been playing quite well. She plays with in the men's team at Sydney Royal Kings, and she's been doing some really good stuff this year.
Well, these basketballers that we see out on court travel the world. This is them plying their trade, and they're in Australia, taking advantage of this wonderful tournament and taking advantage of some space and some room to move is John Pollock, who gets his first 2 points for what will, we would presume, be a productive evening, because he's doing the job in style. At 6 plays 4, Great Britain by 2. There's the post underneath, and good strong rebounding there by Joey Beswick. Bounce pass to Pollock, who saw a lot of the Pine in the game played against Japan. Had a blistering final term. And he's the sort of player who just pulls into a petrol station, gets the tyres and the wheelchair pumped up, fills up with soup, and away he goes again.
Yeah, like Canada has started a kind of unusual lineup. They've really only had 1 big there and 4 littles. So
what would be the thinking behind that, do you think, Jerry?
I'm not sure. It's that kind of team you want to press, I would think, with that kind of speed on court. So they haven't done that yet, but that might be their intention.
So you're predicting there could be a few mismatches with the size of players, particularly under the basket, and who goes where. We'll wait to see whether or not your philosophy does unfold. Jerry, I did suggest one of the key players in the situation in basketball. Only 1 second left on the shot clock, and right on the hooter, 24 seconds runs out. There are a few of the structural changes that have taken place in the last few years. 30 back to 24. That's been a significant one with time clock.
Yeah, it certainly has. Yeah, and it's speeded the game up. You know, it's people want to watch a fun game. It certainly makes it different.
It does. There's some double teaming, very well done indeed against Ian Cigar, who couldn't knock it away. And here's double D. David Durapol. On the way is the voice of Murray Tressida saying, quicker Ian, quicker Ian. His call was to Ian Cigar to hurry down the court. 6 playing 4.
Release is going to be quicker.
Very seldom do you see a basketball coach stay on his backside. They're usually up and around. They're prowling around, aren't they, on the court side?
I do that quite often, actually.
Yep.
staying on my backside.
You do?
Yeah,
No drip, no hump.
Being in a wheelchair is quite difficult.
You still can roll up and down.
Nice shot.
That's good. 8 plays 4. And that's Pollock's 4th.
Lovely 3-point shot there. Beautiful follow through. Nothing but net.
That's the 5th, I should say, because the 3 fingers were shown, not the 2. And it's 9 plays 4, so Great Britain out to a handy lead. Remember, Canada rebuilding, and Great Britain already, of course, qualifying for the Olympic Games and getting ready for 2012 and saying, hurry up, it's under 3 years to go. It's scary, isn't it? This is Hall. This is Pollock. Pollock sits just inside the 3-point line, flicks it up and in for 2. Pollock has 7 already. He's becoming a significant pain in the posterior for Canada as the scoreline suggests a 7-point lead to Great Britain.
Much better start by GB tonight. Pollock hitting those shots. You'd think the Canadian coach would have scouted the fact that he's a shooter and they should have someone on him.
Well, he's being able to freewheel, pardon the pun, as Durapo puts up the shot, rims out, chases his own rebound, kept it in play and gets extra friendly with the Great Britain bench. And the panel be to stand by. Have a look at him go. Look out.
Commitment. Get out of the road. Oh, sorry. Pleased to meet you.
What's your name again? That's one way to get up close and personal. Timeout call. 4:57 to go first period. This game is at the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre. Men's wheelchair basketball. Great Britain 11. Lead Canada 4.
Getting the shot we want on 5-on-5 anyway. And at the end of the day, the mismatch means you're getting open on a mismatch. Okay? To stop that confusion on the sequential, we want to call the name now and then call either post or wing. So if John comes down and calls whatever in wing, the wing player picks. He comes down and says post player picks. But we have one there. Doing a great job in our perimeter defence here. 2-man game's good. I can hear the communication. That's really important what we're doing. Okay. With a 5-on-4, you can't foul. Read. I'll give you something there. Okay? Good start to go, boys. Good start. Be aware of the press.
Jerry, as a coach, how much information did you like to load onto your players for them to get into their head?
I think you had a lot of information in your head you wanted to get through, but I think they're really only taking maybe 20% of what you say. So a couple of things on offense, a couple of things on defense. That was enough.
Yeah, I suppose the overloading is that the athletes might be focused on something else and you're spending all of your spirited time and energy.
Have a nice little 1-pointer there trying to get that up. To foul in that shot.
He looks happy.
Yeah. Let's do free throws.
Why wouldn't he be happy? To the line, that is Abji-Jamar. He's a 1-pointer.
He's the highest level of disability classification as a 1-pointer. He really only has his arms and chest, a couple of back muscles, shoulder muscles to be able to use.
How many muscles have we got in our bodies?
That's a good question. I'm quite sure.
I don't use many. Does that help? He's hit 1 from 2. The 1-pointer, no lower limb or little or no trunk movement. Rebound overhead and single-handed. We'll go through these just to help you out. And you'll go through them because you'll be helping us out. But it's 12-4, but really important to note just the classifications and the points allocated as the kiss off the glass to your tip wasn't right. Here we go on the fast break. Go, little Johnny. Go, go, go. Off the glass for 2. 9 points. He has. It's 14-4. The 4.5 is these players have the least disability on court, usually minimal lower limb dysfunction or single below-knee amputation. Normal trunk movements in all directions. So that's going from the 1 point to the 4.5, and then in the middle, we squeeze it up.
We certainly do. That sounds pretty good.
Durapo, can he find it? He can't quite. He gets some assistance. But there are hands there from the bricks, and they are good hands. It's knocked out of court, and it will be, it looks like a Canadian ball. They're down by 10. This is a very smart start by the Great Britain team, who are, I would suggest, favourites to play Australia in the final at the early stages of this competition. What a final that will be. We're up and at 'em at them in the cricket. If it rains in wheelchair basketball, we still play because we've got a roof.
Right hand, it was a good sport to pick.
If it rains at Edgbaston, well, too bad. Durapo for Canada, who are down by 10. It's 4-14. The pass was meant for and found Ing, who can't quite hit it. Wanted to, but didn't. Rebounded by Sagar. Not the one you smoke, it's S-A-G-A-R. The movement provided by Bestwick. This is Pollock. Always on the move, always looking, no one out near him. He's had the deodorant splash this morning, but no one's been near him so far. Underneath, Bestwick runs into strife. The wheelchair of Lee Manning getting across in front of him. And just about the blocking situation for us, Terry, with the wheelchair, and of course, can you explain to us about what the ref's looking for when the blocking foul is called?
Well, what they're supposed to look for is the path of the chair being covered by the other person's chair. So the path of the chair is determined by the front of your chair. And that's got to be covered by someone, and they've got to be still also. So normally what they look for, they tell me anyway.
All right. We'll go to the next level in a moment because I'm fascinated about what we need to know about wheelchairs, about the specific equipment, as Pollock almost made it. Almost. It's not just the all nets, it's the ability to take the angle off the glass, off the backboard, and let the ball do the rest, but that didn't quite fall. Richard Peter, he's one of the key players that Canada will need to be on song if there to be a match. And there's a travel called, and tell me about it, a travel called against the Canadian Robert Hedges, who doesn't look all that happy.
No, he's can only push twice on the wheel. You can bounce it, you can push twice and bounce at the same time. It's a pretty unusual call, travel.
If we lined up every wheelchair that's been played in this tournament, would there be much difference in them?
Not a huge amount. I think the technology has been amazing over the years. Like the anti-kipcasters at the back made a great, huge difference to the movability of the chair. So that's been fantastic. Very, very lightweight and strong, because they've got to be strong to get bashed.
Yes, the reason I ask you that is because the World Swimming Championships are on at the moment, and the swimsuits are being used by swimmers who have the necessary dollars and cents, and the swimming times that are being recorded are extraordinary. Is there anything that could be done to a wheelchair to make it better for a basketball?
I think it's gone as far as it can go. I think they're so light, made of titanium.
Yeah, that's good, off the glass. Well, let's continue when we go. Segar, who gets 6 points, and it's now 16-4, Great Britain by 12.
Yeah, very light, very manoeuvrable. Nice shot again by Segar.
But you reckon it's just about the end of the line in terms of making it any better?
I think so. Like, it's a guy in Australia from Mogo Wheelchairs, Michael Callahan. He was the first guy to actually introduce the anti-kipcaster into the world of wheelchair basketball. And it's been just an incredible asset to the game.
Yes. Well, 3-second call. I think that might have been the coach calling that out. I think Art Garfunkel gave us a bit of the sounds of silence then.
It's interesting now that Canadians gone back with their two bigs, two-gun players, so they can match up against the GB team.
Is our mate? Yep. Touring around Australia. If you get a chance to go and see him, it's worth $1 or $2, but 16-4. He'll have a bit to sing about at quarter time because that's a better shot. 16-6 is the score with 3 minutes of play remaining.
Adam, same thing again next time.
I'm sorry, 1 minute of play remaining. And, of course, the coach of Canada, Jerry Tonello, taking over a team that hasn't got Patrick Anderson and hasn't got Jerry Johnson, so he's playing catch-up before he even starts. 16-6, 10 the difference into the last 40 seconds of the first period. Leaning back, holding onto the ball for whatever seemed to be an eternity was Ian Segar. Just on the 24-second shot clock, he put the shot up. So we're not quite in sync with the shot clock and the time clock. 15 on shot, 21 on time. Canada will work for a good one and run it right down so that Great Britain won't get another one. Ball in the hands of Hedges. Hedges over the top. Lancier, first points for the afternoon. He'd be happy with that. He'd be very happy with that because they needed it. 16-8. And when the ball is hot, when the ball is taken back in by Pollock, we have 4 seconds as of now. He's heading halfway. Is he going to have a crack? He's not quite going to have a crack. Fahuda beats him, and so it's quarter time here at the Sydney Olympic Sports Centre. The Rollers World Challenge, and at quarter time, Great Britain 16 lead Canada 8. When we come back, can you?
Yep.
Get the screen set, Chad. If you're moving around too much, he's not going to be able to get a good screen. Have you got Rod right behind him?
That's right. Keep setting. You keep working your pairing up and down, and you're going to have to set a seal either high or low as he moves his defense up or down. Paul is going to watch right now.
No, it's here, was he?
Now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
To sell the plays on the side here, occasionally
Incredible ball
you have to
handler.
take a shot a little further out.
Fantastic.
Or a 3. That way they keep jumping you.
They're jumping the wings, both sides, just not the point. They're up the point.
He does look like the
So
FA
Bo,
Cup, sure.
Bo.
Don't you reckon?
So we're going to keep going down and we're going to keep trying to work
Or
the ball on
Prince
the side
Charles.
waiting for the jump. And you're going to have to be free at the free throw line. But last time we didn't get the pick. We were a little sloppy. We let them get their chairs on us. So let's make sure we stay
Prince
clear
Charles,
of
I
that.
think.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Chad,
Thanks
let's
very
see what
much.
you can do for Yvonne.
Thank you.
Hit it up. Guys. Bump and grind, guys. Bump and grind.
Bump and grind.
GBR 123 GB. They'd be pleased. Why wouldn't they be pleased? What do the stats tell us, Terry Houston, after the first quarter in which GB outscored Canada by 16-8?
Last night they were shooting at 20%. They're at 50% here at this present time, and Canada down at 25%.
Yeah, that hurts. They start the second quarter in fine fettle. Adam Lancia, who'll be one of their key players, gets his 4th point and the margin back to 6. We see so many basketballers at this level. Jerry, what about under this level? What about people that are giving the impression that they might have a bit of sporting prowess? They might have been involved recently in an accident. They're not just sure what pathway to follow. And there's a bit of a lack of confidence. There could be a bit of embarrassment. They're not too sure how they go about it. What are the steps?
I think in any state in Australia, you can go to your local New South wheelchair sport organisation, and also on Basketball Australia's website, there's information on there of they can follow that links on there to be able to get to play, because there's lots of development opportunities out there to start and get in any level you can.
And there'll be encouragement, and you'll be given good tuition.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That was Rudyard, who hit the first 2 points of this term and brings it back to a 4-point ball game, 16-12. How long did it get, or did it take for you to get accustomed? Score check, 16-12, 9 minutes of play remaining in this second quarter, an early timeout.
Our play, we're always going to
when we come back.
initiate our play to the left.
Sorry about that in the van. I didn't realise they were going to call such an early timeout.
Do that. All right? Chad, very good. Okay, you were able to break down their side at the same time as they attacked on this side. That's excellent timing. Canada. Make them set up high on the Dallas. Make them set up high on Dallas.
So you keep wide, or we can look to your curl. Let's get involved, Dan. Joe. Played 11 minutes, haven't shot the ball. Well, you've got to get involved in the game. And you can create by working with your partner. At the moment, there's no working with your partner. Two-man game.
Just 4 points the difference. Good solid start to the second term by Canada with buckets to Rudyard and Lancia. 3 and 16-12. And who lobbed that whilst I was writing down? Oh.
John Pollock behind the double screen. Here he goes. Nothing but net. You've got to jump to that. Come
and
on,
that's
coach.
his second three-pointer for the evening, or for the afternoon, or whatever time you're watching this. And that's good stuff. Ball tapped out of court. Just getting back to what we were saying, Jerry. First time in an actual wheelchair. How long does it take to get the necessary confidence to feel comfortable in a wheelchair, let alone then to be moving out and putting extra pressure and extra energies on both sides of your body to try and control a ball?
Everyone's different, obviously, and depending on your level of disability too. But yeah, it's probably a year or so to get used to a chair and the things you can and can't do. Then to you know, to throw on top of that the old basketball skills takes quite a while. But it's great fun to learn.
Yeah,
great physical sport.
You've had a wealth of experience. How did you? I'll just wait for the shot, which is going to be. Oh, there's a foul call. Underneath the basket there was Dan Highcock who got fouled. What happened in your situation for you to be confined to a wheelchair?
I raced motorcycles and just fell off in a race and injured my spinal cord, T4, T5, about chest level in 1980.
And you knew straight away then that you wouldn't be able to walk again?
Not well after the accident. Had an operation, and after that operation that it was confirmed that you know, we wouldn't be able to walk again.
And who introduced you to wheelchair basketball?
Just through rehab, going out to see a game of wheelchair basketball, and you know, it was just amazing going out to see these guys in these lightweight wheelchairs and flying up and down the court and floating guts all over the place and smashing and bashing. It was a real eye-opener, and it really got me interested in trying to play.
Well, that's a good story, folks. So someone who went and played at the highest level and has coached at the highest level. Now, the ref's being advised by Canadian Robert Peter that there's something wrong with his hearing. Richard Peter, I should say. He was in his ear, folks. So I don't think I've seen a gesticulation.
No, I think he's one of his wheels had deflated.
Yes.
So he's gone to stick another one on.
Well, he just about said to the referee, you can stick it in your ear, folks, because he wasn't very pleased, was he?
No,
he wasn't getting any response.
No, he's singing out equipment, and hopefully the referees can understand that something wrong with the equipment, so they've got to stop the game.
Well, right in front of us, what a perfect view we get of the Canadian Chad Jasmine. Inbound pass. It's Lancia's turn now. It's 20-12. Not the time. That's the score. Here's a chance. Up and running. It's Dan Highcock. Off towards the money man, you call him, Pollock. Didn't mention Graham. What a super player he was, and Peter. And we've got a reasonable basketballer out there. There was no one in his face when he put the attempt up. And that would disappoint the coach of Canada, because Jerry Tonello wants there to be pressure. And he wants to play with the ball, Lancia, to find the range too. On its way to Richard Peter. Shot pockets to 5 seconds. Richard Peter does a few 360s. Lancia's got it again on 2 seconds. Floats it over the top. The buzzer goes for 24 seconds. No score. Good defence by the United Kingdom, by Great Britain, who lead by 8, 20-12. 7 minutes to go. The call from our good friend Jerry was a little late, but it wasn't bad.
It was okay. I think it was really good patience, actually. I was unlucky on that clock, not knowing what was on the clock.
It hurts too, and the defence was extended and did the job in fine style as Pollock. The opposite number 9 out in his face. That's Lancia. He'll take the ball away from that attempted shot. Gets the defensive board. Rebounding's interesting. We'll hit you with those stats in a sec. Lancia underneath. This should be an easy 2. Oh, disappointment there for Vion Rouliard. And away goes Pollock. Has he got the speed? Has he got the depth? Oh, he goes tumble. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Crashing down, knocked the young kid who was one of the floor wipers. And someone's going to have to wipe him off the floor, because that was a crash and a half.
That was, you can see the contact there is made in the centre of the chair. That wasn't really, I thought, might have called an offensive foul, because John turned his chair into the person to get that shooting position. I think he was a bit lucky there.
And explain now, for me, the uninitiated, your brakes are your hands.
Yeah, that's about it. That's what you use to brake on your wheels and on your tyres. A lot of guys push on the rim, some guys push on the tyres, and some guys push on both.
Pollock, 13 points, 21-12. We'll have a look at the speed that he picks up, and also his arms and legs all over the shop. as he gets 2 from 2 and does it spectacularly. This is John Pollock in full motion.
You reckon that might hurt? You'd have to go to the get a massage tonight, I reckon, to get that. He doesn't like being on the table too much, so he tells me. I think he might be there tonight.
Well, he might like being on the table. How does he like being on the floor of the basketball court?
He likes playing. I think he likes laying on it.
What a super game for John Pollock. 14 points. He has control of the ball again as an object flying through the crowd, landing on the floor, but we've got plenty of youngsters to clean up there as Pollock gains possession again. Doesn't he love to get near that leather? Hedges the target. Hedges out towards Eng. Now it's Rouliard. Now it's, I should say, Highcock. And it'll be a clearance for the Canadian team through Richard Peter. He goes over the halfway line. Canada in the white. Great Britain, they are in the red. The score check here. This is the Sydney Olympic Sports Centre Rollers World Challenge. And with 6 minutes of play remaining in the second period, it's 22 Great Britain, 12 Canada.
Yeah, he didn't quite get position there on that drive. Fortunately, the referee scored a blocking foul on that. One of the tactics now that GB have got, they've got number 15. They've got his nickname's Irish. He's out there chasing Rouliard. He's up the court. Don't want to get him in the half-court offense. Keep him out of there. Make the other people shoot some baskets.
Let's get some accuracy now from Robert Hedges, who shaved 2 days ago. Does it make you look a bit angry? Does it make you feel aggressive if you don't shave? Have you ever had that problem?
No. Didn't make any difference.
Hedges, 7 points. Been a busy player.
It's a nice shot. It's a really nice shot.
8 points now. He's the leading point scorer for Canada with 8. Lancia has 4. Whilst for the GBs, Great Britain, Pollock has 14 and Sagar has 6. It's 22-14, 8 the difference. Both sides, no issues with personal fouls. It's a neat little pass underneath. Should have been thumped in there. Highcock getting the pass. But unfortunately, accuracy from his teammate was askew as Lancia takes it over halfway for the Canadians. Lancia. And being screened right out of the contest and being screened superbly. Richard Peter, who can't get near it. Who can get near it at last? It's all Rouliard. 4 points, 22-16, 6 the difference.
Yeah, Yvonne is underneath that basket. He's very, very deadly. He plays for the Wollongong Roller Hawks this year. He's out here playing for them. Great asset to them.
Must be a good place for these international wheelchair basketballers to come, Australia. They must respect the high competition, the high level of intensity.
I know Murray Tressida has got a lot of his players out here this year just to play against the Australian players. It's a very good opportunity for them to play against the best people in the world.
Yep, make good friendships. Absolutely. And show some of our Japanese people the real culture of Australia, as you told me yesterday.
Yasu, he was out of the World Kings a couple of years ago, and we taught him a few Australian proper words and things.
All right, we won't go there.
No.
There's a foul on the way in for shooting. Yvonne Rouliard was on the way in, but there was a clip, and he'll get shot. So timeout called here at the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre. This is the Rollers World Challenge. 4.5 to go in the second period. Great Britain 22 lead Canada 16.
It's gone down.
All right, we're starting to scramble a bit now. Let's remember what side that we're on. Adam is working with Dick, and Bo at the top. We are now pressing after made baskets and after the second free throw, whether it goes in or not. All right? You're back, Yvonne, right? On the press, you're back. Adam, you're at center on the press.
Yeah, it's like a song. It's just bullshit.
Just under 4.5 to go before half-time. 6-point lead. Great Britain seeming to have the answers, and I refuse to call this man Yvonne. I'll go Vion Rouliard. If I called him Yvonne, I'd duck. Coach calls him Yvonne.
No, he's very, his name suits him, I think.
Yvonne?
Yeah, he's, maybe not.
Still yours. Still yours, Jerry.
Maybe not.
Vion, 2 from 2. He has 6, and it's only a 4-point ball game.
And we're in the press now.
It was 8 points at quarter time. Great Britain doing it in fine style. We had 9 points for John Pollock for the first quarter. Here we go, the ball tipped out of court. And there's the man who did so well last night, Lancia. Puts the big hand out. Look at him go. Here they can create some speed. That's Pollock, probably the key player. That's stating the obvious. He shot. His pass was good. And that's good. The assist was there. And the 2 points to Cigar, who has 80. And it's back to a 5-point ball game. Well, the score is confusing me. It's 18 to, I think it should be 24. Yeah, 6-point ball game. Just as well we have Mark Slocum, our stats man, working beautifully for ABC TV at a wonderful venue and a dynamic sport that we're watching unfold. 4 nations, Australia, Canada, Great Britain and Japan, all extolling their virtues in the very dramatic sport of wheelchair basketball. They take no friends. Here's Pollock, a mile out. You are joking. You have not. That is unbelievable. That is an extraordinary bomb.
The power.
Well, that's 2 threes from 3, and Pollock, that was just amazing. 3 from 3 now.
And seemingly unbalanced, like he's rolling away from the basket. His strength in his upper body is amazing.
We got a cup of coffee on the road about 3 blocks away coming to the stadium, and that's where he nearly shot that from this morning. That was brilliant. And that's what you see, and that's what the crowd loves to see, the big bombs. Now there's some action underneath the basket, and Rouliard is talking in, well, I would say, animated tones to the refs. Team number 5 for the Canadian shaking the head. 27-18. John Pollock, 17 points, 9 in the first quarter. He has 8 in this quarter, 3 3-pointers.
Not a bad effort. Like last night, he was 9 from 9. It's quite amazing. He's a shooter. He just wants to shoot that ball.
He finished up with 22 points last night, including 16 in the last quarter. He came to play. Lancia misses the first. The margin is a healthy 9 points.
Canadians are really looking forward to Adam Lancia to develop. He's lived in the shadow of Patrick Anderson all his playing career, and he's one of the big men, one of the big guys who are looking a lot from him in the future.
5 points for Lancia, 27-19, 18 the difference. 2.5 and a little bit more before we go for a chinwag at half-time with the troops. Great Brit ball. Pollock misses this time, 3 from 4. He slaps his hands together in frustrations, but his performance has been one of excellence in the first half as Lancia carts it over halfway, searching for some options. How's that for a pass? But unfortunately, Hedges, who was on the end of it, couldn't nail a 2. Margin stays at 8. 2 to go before half-time. Great Britain leading, looking to be the better team. They overcame a slow start to beat Japan in their first encounter, and they've exploded out of the blocks like the number 1 in a greyhound race, on the bunny, straight from the word go. And they're playing a winning game at the moment. They lead by 8, 2 minutes to go before half-time.
Foul on Yvonne there. He's reaching, didn't get chair position at all to stop that baseline cut.
I want you to call him Yvonne after the game to his face.
No worries. Maybe possible. Not see that.
8 the difference. Pollock gets around Peter. There's a man with a surname and a Christian name. Take your pick, Richard Peter. Here he goes.
His nickname is the Bear, and when he's got
He
his
looks a bit
head,
like a bear, doesn't he?
he's got his head shaven,
Yeah.
which he had in the past. He certainly does. Great player.
Yeah. Well, we'll go with Grizzly for this tournament. Grizzly does the right things, gets it across to Lancia with 2 points. And it's back to a 6-point ball game. And a possible turnover here and buckets for Canada. Oh, it's a steal, all right. Lancia, go for home. Go for home, big fella. He missed it. He missed it. Oh, that was so close. The steal was good. He almost netted and reduced the deficit to 4. He couldn't quite nail it. Into the last minute and 20. That would have been a handy one.
Would have been very handy. Like, you're disappointed to miss it. Absolute layup.
Yes, it's usually bread and butter for these players. Shot clock to 3 seconds, to 2 seconds, to 1 second. Ding dong. It counts. It's in. Now, please instruct us as we see Kevin Hayes get the 2. What is the situation when the ball leaves the hands when the shot clock's about to go zip for 24 seconds?
Yeah, once the referee's got to decide. That's a very tough call sometimes. We've seen some games lost and won on the referee's call, and then looking at the ball leaving the person's hand, the clock goes off, doesn't count. So
what did you think of that call?
There was a hoik.
What do you think of that call then? Was he spot on?
I think he was, yeah. It's a good call.
All right, Lancia, 8 points the difference, 38 seconds before half-time, misses the first, it bounces back into his face.
Let's get a good one. Take 24 off it.
This is important. This is important.
Get a 24-second possession, Joe.
That's Mark Tressler doing the talking in the background as Lancia gets that bucket to make it 8 points, 7 the difference. 38 seconds on the time clock, 24 on the shot clock, which starts now. It's backcourt for Great Britain. They get it over halfway, but it's a 1-on-2 play at the moment. The Canadian defence is good. Pollock finds some space, then is manhandled legally by Richard Peter. Shot clock to 8 seconds. Good hands, Canada. They'll win the ball, and they'll get a shot. 15 seconds to go. Lancia brings it back over halfway. 7 the difference, but Canada will get the last shot of the first half. Will it be Lancia who works inside? His pass is poor. Oh, miserable. He wouldn't be happy there. Beswick runs it away. Beswick, bounce pass on for Pollock. He tries to draw the foul. And he might have done that with about a millisecond to go.
0.2 per second to go there. Not very good decisions both end of the court from Canada or GB. Yeah, just fouled there.
Fingernail, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, bit of a fingernail, bit of a chair push.
Yeah.
Coming across from the side there. Definitely a foul.
So Pollock to end the first half. He gets 17 points, 3 assists. Good grief, what a first half. 18 points now, 3 3-pointers. And he is enjoying the first half of this game. 30 plays 22. The halftime score will be 30 plays 22. The hooter now rings. And here at the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre, the Rollers World Challenge. They're waiting for 0.2 of a second to have elapsed. The ball now is a hot one. It's brought back into play. There goes the hooter. It's half-time. And Great Britain lead by 8. 30 to Canada, 22. A relaxed mood in both camps, but surely Great Britain, with their noses in front on the scoreboard, they lead by 8. But in general play, Jerry Hewson, you'd think that their camp, under the astute guidance of professional himself, Murray Tressida, they'd be feeling a little bit more comfortable than Canada under their head coach, Jerry Tonello.
Yeah, I think so. The Great Britain guys have done a pretty good job the first half. Obviously, having John Pollock shooting the lights out at the moment is a very, very good advantage for them.
Yes, he's the go-to player, and he's the player that's got the ball at the moment. He's been like a mother hen. He's hatched it for most of the first half, and on one of the few occasions he's turned it over. Adam Lancia wearing the opposite number 9 for Canada. Richard Peter. And off the ball, there's a foul. And the call is against Chad Jasmine of Canada, who is smiling rather wryly, but you reckon he knows he was in the wrong.
Well, he probably doesn't think so. He's a player, so you're never wrong when you're a player, obviously. But referees, maybe call that one. I think it was an offensive foul.
So from the sidelines, Great Britain a chance to extend their lead, which is 8 points. They'll be looking to finish this game off with a flurry. In their last encounter, they scored a victory over Japan, 64-54. They won by 10, and there's a little bit of action off the ball as we see Joe Bestwick, number 4 for the Reds. The Reds are Great Britain, the Whites are Canada, and
yes, he's going to get that off the ball, out of camera there. But one of John Pollock's goals for each of the game is to have less than 5 turnovers, and he's just had 2 in a row there.
2 and 30 seconds, so you've wired him up, have you? And you've put the mockers on him after his effort in the first half, as we see the finger roll of Robert Hedges produce his 10th point, and it's back to 6 points the difference. So Canada hanging around, giving the impression they haven't really seriously threatened, but they're only a half a D away. Pollock doing the moving and swirling just outside the 3-point line. Now moves in, takes the set shot, falls shy of the mark. Bounce pass out there from Jamar, back out to Pollock. Shot clock, a fresh 24 seconds. It's down to 18. It's going to be rebounded now. And there's a foul in the paint, but it'll be a Canada ball, and the ball belongs to Adam Lancia.
I don't think it was a foul. I think his equipment again, Yvonne, really out there is getting a wheel changed or an axle. They tend to bend quite easily, the axles, the big guys on them.
Yeah, they make a mess of it, don't they?
They certainly do, and they go through like, you know, half dozen.
Is that a dead
wheels.
duck now? There's nothing they can do about that?
Probably not. They probably not get the wheel. Sometimes the wheel just pops off the rim, and because of the pressure, they run at about 130 odd PSI. So that tends to pop off. They'll let it down, put it back on again.
And at the risk of this being a rather unusual question, do they actually have tyres on the bike that are inflated?
On the chair?
On the chair,
yes. Now they run at 120, 130 PSI.
Yeah.
Nice and high, so you can get less friction and be able to roll quicker.
Yeah. It's just amazing. As we see, a three-pointer for Canada from Adam Lancia. 11 points, and it's a 3-point margin. I was going to mention quickly, talk us through this one. What a beauty.
He's got a really nice shot at him. As I said, like he's lived in the shadow of Patrick Anderson. He's got an opportunity to be the gun player here.
He has. 3 points the difference. Kurt Fernley in a wheelchair goes under 2 hours in a marathon on the road. That is just, it's unheard of. The world record for a marathon is about 2 minutes and 5 seconds. 2 hours and 5 minutes and about 20 seconds. Are the same wheelchairs used on the road as used here?
No, they're completely different, designed differently. 3 wheels of the road racing wheelchairs. Probably again like even lighter than these chairs.
Well, there's some speed here. There's a timeout called early stages, third term, and just a little bit of, fear and apprehension, I'd expect, because Great Britain 30 lead Canada 27 by 3 with 7.5 to go. Timeout called in the third quarter.
So you almost invite him to play defense, but in a way to invite him to shoot, right? Since he hasn't been hit. Make it a little bit easy for him to shoot if he wants to.
We're trying to wait till he's setting up and look like he's going, and then put some pressure.
Great start. So the last time down, John came down the side. How can we do that a little better? A little earlier start on him. Or if you communicate, I don't mind the low jump. But if you tell them early, pretend you're going to go to high and then send the low guy. Canada, let's keep up the pressure.
Are we seeing just a slight change since halftime? We haven't had Great Britain trouble scorers. They led by 8 at halftime. They now lead by 3, a teasing 3. Canada being stoked up, the embers in their fire, and they're on their way back. It's getting tight and tense. Here's Richard Peter.
If it gets a little too uncomfortable for him.
I think this is Canada's strongest lineup they can put on the floor. Those 2 bigs are very big, and they're quite significantly bigger than the GB team.
He gets 1 from 2, and there's only 2 points the difference. There's Art Garfunkel.
Didn't get that call.
No.
Sing us a song.
I think he will. I just get the impression he's teasing us.
I'd love him to just,
It could be a distraction to the timeout. A very affable character. Who's the help's the call. Great Britain under pressure. Ball with Ian Sagar gets 2. He's got 10. The margin is back out to 4. 7.5 remaining third period.
Very good balance there. Great balance in that one-handed shot. He held his chair with the tyre and one wheel to keep the chair still. A nice one-handed shot.
That's the balance. That's such a word. Oh, there's a wild swoosh there from Robert Hedges, which missed the lot. Here comes Richard Peter. Hedges might call for it again, and Peter might do the screening. He's at the top of the three-point line. Goes to Hedges, who takes aim. Almost bounced back in his face. They all stretch for it. Great quick ball. Bestwick. Here's Hall. Away from strife. 6:50 to go, third period. Sports Centre at the Sydney Olympic Park venue. Nice hands. Go, big fella. Here goes Adam Lancia. All the way. 2 points. He's got 13, a big third term, a 3 and a 2, and it's a 2-point ball game. Canada around the hunt now, around the money.
They are, unfortunately, another turnover. John Pollock there.
Pollock, adept at his left side as he is with his right side. The pass was good, and it was made look even better by Joe Bestwick with first 2 points for him. Back to a 4-point ball game.
Just a great left-handed pass there, hook right on the money. A couple of guys around him landed beautifully.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's the call. Underneath, the response wasn't quite up to scratch from Richard Peter. Good effort inside there by Abji Jamar. Off towards Pollock, who goes quickly. British Bulldog, yeah, you've guessed it, that one. The Western Bulldogs would like him. They'd love him as a mascot. That shot up, didn't fall. You'll get another try. Ian Sagar, yes, it drops in. Has a mind of its own.
Again, you're just a little bit taller if you get that one hand up there. You're a lot taller than the defence, so it certainly helps.
36-30, Great Britain stretch it to 6 after it got back to 2. Tight third term, Canada without Patrick Anderson, I should say, and without Joey Johnson. That's 2 points from Yvon Rouliard, who will be called Yvon by Jerry Hewson when I'm about $20 into a decent taxi ride away from this venue, I'll tell you. There's Pollock. Oh, he doesn't miss those on the baseline. The shot was up and in. His first points for this third term. He's got 20 at 6 the difference, 38-32. Great Britain lead.
Again, very unusual shooting style. You're not square to the basket. He's kind of fading away to the basket to the sideline, and just a lovely shot.
Yes, he's got the range, and so too is Lancia, who's starting to find his range. Not quite. It was a 3-point attempt. Banged off the iron. Pollock, has he been cloned? He seems to be on both sides of the court at the one time. He is really into the swing of things. He lets fly with an attempted 3. Jasmine was the player for Canada. Got it out to Lancia. Margin 6 points, 4:20 to go. Lancia wheels in and out of the paint now. Swings it back out. Chance for Hedges. Hedges over the top. What was he going for? It finishes up, pardon me, in the hands of Rouliard. Attempts it off the glass with 2 seconds on the time clock remaining. There's a tumble in the paint, and we'll check a score. 38-32, 6 the difference, 4 minutes of play remaining in the third period. Let's get some thoughts from you. Jerry Hewson, former coach of the Gliders, who sits here attentively watching what's going on.
Unfortunately, there was a violation. He fell out and he still had the ball, and if he would have fallen out and got rid of the ball, it would have been fine there, but unfortunately, it was a violation. Got to get rid of that ball.
So it's called, what are you? You're virtually holding onto the ball, and Murray's having a good look, and he's happy.
Well, he's not too happy because they just turned it over, I think, so he's not that happy.
Well, the violation is what, you didn't get rid of the ball before you landed on the ground.
Yeah.
All right. Richard Peters, one way or the other. That's all right. Hedges almost lost it. It bounces off his scone and out of court. No. He kept it in. No, he didn't. Just might have been half a tyre over. And that hurts when that happens.
Should have pumped his tyre a bit more, wouldn't he, that far over.
So,
is he out? No, ref.
The question's being asked. The refs are there.
Just out there. Very good call, ref.
Yeah, we'll get that. That'll be on the bloopers reel. Very good call, you said then, Jerry. I don't think I've ever heard you say that before to a ref. Or about a ref.
I can't hear me,
38-32, 6 the difference. 3:20 to go in this third period. And there are Canadian hands all over the shop, including Richard Peter, who muscles his way clear. puffs the chest, away he goes, bursts a few buttons off the shirt, heads for home, gets clobbered, can't quite make the basket. And there's a bit of an entanglement of gear as well. He was a man on a mission then, and in a hurry.
He was, like, very, very balanced there. Can chuck it up. The Bears, he's pretty good from the free throw line too. Should be able to hit these.
What sort of a Bear would he be if you could nominate? You'd have to be the Grizzly, wouldn't he?
He'd have to be something like that, yeah. He'd be... Lovely guy, really nice guy. Very placid off the court.
Well, here's another white line fever.
Not as bad as some players, but he certainly turns it up when he gets on court.
He's got the chance now. More substitutions taking place. Murray Tressor, a wonderful story.
Coming out, he's got blood on his elbow there. He's cut his elbow pretty badly. So he's got to be subbed out straight away.
So we've got a blood rule here at the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre. 3 minutes and 12 seconds of play remaining in the third period. Great Britain 38, lead Canada 32.
Let me add upset. No, you're out. It's got to be Irish, 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 Irish. Go. Right in. Next up, go.
Well, we've sorted out that mayhem, and the most significant fact is you've got to make sure you've only got 14 points on the court. As you've said right throughout, Jerry Houston, it is up to the coaching staff to know if someone comes off what their points are worth and to make sure that whoever goes back on fills exactly that.
Yeah, the cigar went out with the blood bin, and you can't sub him straight back on again, unfortunately. He's got to stay out, so they had to recalculate the points. Murray was trying to add up very quickly there to make sure that they had the right points on court.
So that's 2 from 2 for Richard Peter. And for Great Britain, there was no cigar. 38-34. 4 points the difference. 3 minutes of play remaining. And we just keep thinking, or I do, that Great Britain have got their hand on the pedal, and they've got their hand on the handbrake. They can release it whenever they want to, but Canada hang around.
They're doing a good job, I think, out there. As I said, they've got the strongest combination on. They're doing a bit of pressing here now, so they're making it hard. Well, it was close to a turnover.
Here it was. Here's Kevin Hayes. Off he goes. Ralston. Ralston for Great Britain, who lead by 4. His pass was good for Hall. Shot clock is 3 seconds, is 2, is 1. The shot misses, but there was a foul beforehand. And the Grizzly Bears saying, why? What's the go? What's the call? I'll tell you what, his eyes, they just glared. Is it a good or a bad call? Can we pick it up?
Let me have a look. I think he just hit him in the back of the, with his front of his chair on the back of the wheel there. So that's certainly a disadvantage to the shooter. Just put him off enough to miss the shot.
He's going to line up. Important shots for Great Britain. They lead by 4. And they lead now by 5. It's 39-34. Under 3 minutes of play remaining. John Hall is the man who has 1 point and now has the possession needed by all. Basketball in his hands. He can't get the second, so it's 1 from 2. 39-34. 5 the difference. Canada working hard, getting back into this game. They trail by 8 at half-time and 8 at quarter-time, so they've certainly improved. One of the reasons has been the man who's firing right now hits the tin and bounces back, not quite into his face. That was Adam Lancia, so he doesn't get position. John Pollock does. Pollock with 3 3-pointers and 20 points for his journey to the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre today. He creates some mayhem outside the 3-point line. The shot clock under 5 seconds. Pass was on, went to Hall. Hall got it out to Bestwick. Bestwick right on the buzzer, shoots. Here's Lancia. Canada defending well. 2 minutes to go, Jerry, and they're down by 5. If they could score, they'll hurt big time.
Certainly will.
Lancia has a bit of fancy work, gets position and puts it in.
Well, he didn't get a chair on him at all. They let him get right to the inside the free throw line. Like that's not great. He's got 15 points there now.
The margin is 3 points. Pollock hurries home from the opposite end, misses the lot. An attempted fly spot from the side there from Lancia. Isn't effective, but bounces out of court, and it is a Great Britain ball.
That looked a bit like a foul. If I'd be pretty upset, I think, if I was him.
No call's a good call, so they say.
Not if you're the player being backed, I think.
No. So Pollock will bring it in. There's substitution being called. And the Great Britain sub. On court comes Dan Highcock. And off court goes Joey Bestwick. We have 1:30 to go and only 9 seconds on the shot clock. Pollock is in for 2 on the baseline. 22 points in the margin, back to 5.
Again, just inside the 3-point line. Pressure in him, someone in his face.
Yeah, he's been the hurtful player. He's been the one that's hurt big time. Canada with Hedges. 1:09 left on the time clock. 9 on the shot clock. Hedges couldn't make it. Who's got the rebound? Pollock has. Guess who? And he's got, with peripheral vision, a player on either side if he wants them. He runs it to the top of the 3-point line. 50 seconds remaining. Shot is up, falls out. Good rebounding. His strength required by Peter. Outlet pass goes to Durapo. 45 seconds remaining. 5 points the difference. Great Britain lead heading to 3-quarter time. Durapo finds some space. Didn't quite put it in. He was heading in and there was no one on either side, and all of a sudden he thought, hang on, there's no traffic here, I'll keep going, and he got mugged.
He's driving his car through there. Look at that, it's a nice little space. Just wonder why he didn't go left hand. There's a lot of space, there's a left hand there. Normally get a pretty strong left hand, would have been a much easier shot.
Jerry, were you as adept on both sides of your body?
I was actually, I must admit, I hurt my shoulder, right shoulder, and I learned how to do a lot with my left hand, so it was really quite helpful.
Durapo misses with the first. Got to make this one. 5 points the difference. He misses with both. That's disappointing. That really is ouch, Phil, because of a margin of 5 points and Great Britain with the ball and the shooter, Pollock. The ball in his hands. 20 seconds remaining before 3-quarter time. 41-36. Great Britain lead. Shot clock to 5 seconds. Pollock unloads. It misses. Rebounded there. There's 2 blokes on the court having a wonderful time. Lancia and Pollock are virtually playing at the game against each other. Durapo now for Canada. That's a nice little flick away to Hedges, who missed it. Oh, they've missed some easy shots in the last 30 seconds. There goes the hooter. And it's 3-quarter time as Pollock nets after the blast. And it's 3-quarter time at the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre. Great Britain 41, lead Canada 36. The margin is just 5 points. Will it be GB or will it be Canada? Great Britain at quarter time led by 8, at half time by 8, at 3-quarter time by 5. Canada got to within 2. An amazing stat. Canada's bench has produced 23 points. Great Britain's bench has produced 3.
I think that goes to show the depth that Canada have there. The Great Britain side is a pretty young side. And you're asking a lot of their bench to come out and score some.
We want a tight finish in any sporting contest. The closer it is, the more we enjoy it. We hope you're enjoying it. That's the most important thing. Canada down by 5, but their first shot in the last quarter sails off the glass and in for 2 from Vion Rouliard, who now has 10 points, and it's back to a 3-point ball game.
Lots of pressure there, like off the glass. Great shot.
Opposite end, the response does not come by way of John Hall. And Brouillard, who was quick to get back, helps out. He works in tandem with his best mate, Adam Lancia, over halfway. Lancia sitting on 15 points at three-quarter time, the margin 3. Lancia to Hedges. Hedges sitting just inside the three-point line. He gives it back to the man who shot the last 2 points. He can't get it this time. He might this time. He does! Brouillard has a dozen. And it's a one-point ball game, 41-40.
It's another 2 points in the paint. Murray won't be happy about getting these bigs in the paint. That's one of the things they want to try and keep out.
Canada changing gears. Great Britain looking for Pollock. He's been the go-to player. Just 2 players in double figures for Canada. Pollock on 22, Cigar on 12. And there is a 3-second call. And we heard it. Art Garfunkel saying, I can count to 3.
That's the way to count to 3. I don't think Murray said that.
No, he didn't. Yeah, well done. That's Art in the foreground there with the dark gear on, looking absolutely spectacular. And so too are his team at the moment, because the margin is just 1 point. And Canada, I thought for a moment about to take the lead, but a wayward shot from Chad Jasmine. And Great Britain bring it back. There's the boss of the Canadian team taking over after the Olympic Games in Beijing, when they were beaten in the final by Australia. This is John Pollock with 22 points. This is Joe Bestwick with 2. So Pollock with 22, Cigar on 12, and the next best, Hayes and Bestwick with 2 each. And Pollock almost lost at shot clock. It's going to beat them. Oh, it's a foul right on the 1 second of the 24 to be elapsed. Jerry Hewson, how often do you see that happen?
Oh, as a coach, too often. I think Art to be very upset
Dan,
with his play.
work
Right,
this
1
side of the
second
floor.
to go.
Ian,
He fouled
the
that
other
person.
side of the floor.
There's no way he was going to make
Knock
that
him
shot.
down, Johnny.
The directions that have been passed on to Johnny are simple and concise. Knock them down, Johnny. Johnny heard it. And he failed to take note of what the coach's instructions were for number 1. Score remains at 41-40, 7:50 to go in this final quarter. Margin is 2.
Much better follow through on that shot. The first one is a bit short.
I presume we're overtime if the scores are level, Jerry.
Yes, I would say so, yeah.
I know it's a long way out to call that. The momentum at the moment is certainly swung in the direction of Canada, who have got 3 players on court at the moment, Hedges, Brouillard, and also Lancia, who are getting plenty of the ball, particularly your best mate, Brouillard, who is going to fire up now. Off the glass for 2, and guess what? We can't separate them on the scoreboard. 42 plays 42. Viol Brouillard has 6 final quarter points, and the score's 11. GB3, GB3, GB. What can they do? Can they hit back hard now? The pressure is being applied. Pollock inside the 3-point line, puts the shot up, it rolls off the rim. Brouillard has been a key factor in this game. We'll have a timeout soon. Very soon, actually. Here we go with Hedges. Hedges just inside the 3-point line for Canada. Gets to the baseline. He's still working. He's still working. He's still working. No. Here's our man again. Look out. Here's Brouillard. 16 points, 8 in this final quarter so far. Timeout called. And can you believe it? With 6:46 to go, Canada 44 have grabbed the lead over Great Britain by 2. The Brits are 42.
Guys, can we do this? Ian, you're taking people's space away there. Let them pick and roll this side of the floor, but you hold. And then we can see if nothing happens, we can curl you in. But we can't curl you in if they've got the pick and roll action occurring. And then on the big guy, he's carving us up. You've got to stay player to player. Understand? Well, you can't be sitting behind the low. So you're going to have to extend your defence out further. That's the turn in the game. And plus, you know, we've got open looks here, haven't finished off. They're good looks, they'll drop. Keep taking them. But let's get a stop at the other end of the floor.
Canada have 3. Right? 12 on
Dramatic changes come over this game. At three-quarter time, Great Britain 41 led Canada by a margin of 5 points, 36 in this final quarter. Rouliard 8 points, Great Britain 1 point. So it's a 2-point ball game. Great Britain have scored just one in 3.5 minutes. And the go-to player is number 5. That's Jean Rouliard, who does the guarding now and attempts to knock the ball away from Sagar. Rouliard's got it, so he's working at both ends. Jerry Hewson, he's found something. What did they feed him at three-quarter time?
A few people called him Yvonne a few times, and has fired him up. He's got inside again, and he's been marked backboard.
Oh, excuse me, 10 points in 4 minutes of basketball. That's as good as it gets.
Fadeaway, like absolute fadeaway. Can't defend that.
Yeah, what a spectacular performance by the man who is a 3. He may have some limb movement, more control of their trunk. Can rebound overhead with 2 hands. He's a number 3 in the classification stakes. And it's 46-42. And away go Canada. This has been an extraordinary last quarter so far, but plenty of time left. Great Britain just need to get a stop and buy a basket. But there mightn't be too many baskets on display out here this afternoon, as this is a shot from Robert Hedgetts that falls wide of the mark. Now the Great Brits, they've got to do something. Polly, the gesticulations coming from a worried coach now. Murray Tressida, certainly anxious because these troops have they've lost the plot at the moment. Here comes Pollock. 42-46, Canada by 4. Who's going to pass it to? Who's there? 2 seconds on the shot clock. It runs out again. The defense of Canada are outstanding.
Certainly was there. I think John just should have took that shot. He was open good. 2 players went past him. He should have just thrown it up.
Here's Lancia for Canada. They want to win their 2nd game in a row. We got a decent whack, and the ball rolls out of court.
Don't dry up!
Yeah, it was like, didn't have position there at all. You can see that he didn't cover the path of the chair. Good hit.
No damage to person or no damage to equipment. Canada lead by 4 points. Lancia gets the screening, flicks the ball out. There's his teammate Hedges, back out to Lancia. Lancia feigns with the shot, goes back out to Hedges, who was open. He has 12 points, and in this last quarter, can you believe it? 12 points to 1. It's 48-42, 6 the difference, but I'm still not prepared to write the Brits off with 4 minutes and 20 seconds of play remaining. You are, because you didn't say anything.
They need a score here. I really need a score, and it's looking to John Pollock to make that score. Didn't hold that pick long enough there.
Well, he's found some open space. Oh, no, missed it. Guess who's got it? Rouliard. More timeouts called, more trouble for Murray Tressida. And Canada, oh, they're playing like men possessed. Here's the bear. He ain't no teddy bear, I'll give you the tip. Lancia, over it goes to Hedges. These 3 have virtually worked it together. They've belonged to the ball in this last period. Out it goes. He's so confident he's firing from all over the shot. He's just blocked the shot. He's brought the block the shots on, bluffed the shot. Rouliard, 12 last quarter points.
Number 45, using that backboard, a great shot.
50 plays 42, 8 the difference in this last quarter. 14 points to Canada, 1 to Great Britain, 3:40 to go, and Canada lead by 8.
So you're now the principal defender.
It sometimes gets quiet out there, and that's why we're trying to pump you up. All right? You're doing very well in switching. You're doing an excellent job finding JP. You know he's going to want to bring this game back by himself. You know he scored 3/4 of their points. So we got to keep keying on him. Don't lose where he is.
Okay. Ron Hall got 3 fouls. We can take it to him too. He's going to foul now. Take it to him. We're going to go on the line here. They're going to start fouling, so be prepared for that, right? They're going to start fouling us, so be prepared.
Canada.
Do you reckon you could answer emphatically, the coach of Canada, does he know about one day being totally different from another? Because yesterday, Rouliard, no points, none from 2 from the
Free
field,
throw
2
shooting
defensive
lineup.
rebounds, and he played 11 minutes, and today he's got 20 points.
Yeah, I think it's in, they're just mucking around with their rotations, and that didn't work yesterday, obviously, so today they've changed it up, and they've found a pretty good combination for this system he's trying to get done.
I wonder if he knows the song, What a Difference a Day Makes.
Yeah.
8 points the margin. In a spectacular display, the game still has moments to unfold. 3.5 minutes left, so it's still not over, but something special has to be produced by the Great Brits, who don't look as if they're in a position to do that, although with 2-point play, or 2 points there, Pollock's effort fell well shy of the mark, and that was a shot of a tired player. He sits on 22 points, and the margin stays at a very, very handsome 8 points with 3 minutes of play remaining. And it looks as if Canada can remain unbeaten after 2 games, Jerry.
Yeah, I think Canada woken up the JPs. They're really the only hot scorer, so they're switching very well on him and making sure they've got pressure on him.
Yeah. Well, of course, Canada facing Australia yesterday. So who's going to be the challenger for Australia?
Nice pass, Dick. Good call, Adam.
There's 2 and a shot. So what's the story with Australia? Who's going to get near them?
I don't think anyone really. I think they're a class above these teams here at the moment. But I think, I was counting on that GB were there, but Canada found a good combination here to may give them a hard time.
Gets the 2 and the bonus. It's 18 points. So he and Williard, 38 points, and Great Britain have shot 42. They're only 4 shy of the whole team.
Track JP coming down. Track JP.
And I think, as I say, GB hasn't done a really good job at all of trying to shut them down.
Yeah, Australia took a while to shake off Canada yesterday, but eventually won 66-37. And that's not a reason. That's not a bad result then for Pollock, who helps himself to a couple, draws the foul, and at last we have some productivity on the scoreline. That's his first 2 points for the final quarter. He moves to 24. Remembering, this is the amazing stat, Jerry. At three-quarter time, Great Britain were 41, and they're now 44. We have 2 minutes and 47 seconds of play remaining, and Canada 53 lead Great Britain 44.
Rather than keep it simple and work like all your stuff is biff and barge. None of it is create with other people. There's no variety in what we do. You get beaten on a simple backdoor cut. Just little things like that build up and build up. Okay, we're going to extend up the floor now. Okay, so Johnny and Irish are extending up the floor. You're the 3rd player extending, so you're at the halfway line looking to pick off there. Kev, your back. Abdi, your back with them. Okay? So we want to really start putting some pressure on the ball here. Offensively, keep it simple. Go into, every time down the floor, let's go into sequential. Okay? Every time.
Well, one would suggest, Jerry Hewson, with just on 2 minutes and 47 seconds of play remaining, this is a shell-shocked Great Britain combination, despite the fact that their major point scorer, John Pollock, with 24 points, has the ball to convert what hopefully will be a 3-point play. It looks like Canada have got the momentum as that shot misses, and the Canadians gather the scraps, and they'll be happy enough to gather the scraps in what's been a whirlwind finish to the game.
Ended really well, like I say, like they found their feet, so to speak.
Everything is right. Even now we see Robert Hedges get smacked on his way through, and he'll take shots. They've really stepped it up, though, haven't they? That's just amazing. Last quarter.
Amazing how that momentum just changes. Great Britain was just cruising there for ages. Canada put in a different lineup, made a big difference.
Yeah, just one of 3 with double figures. He now has 13.
We want patient possessions. In transition, try to get in. Other than that, we take the ball out.
That's Jerry Chanello's voice in the background, the coach of Canada. Pleased to know that Robert Hedges now has 14 points and claps accordingly. He'd be a very, very happy man, you'd think. Double 4 plays double 5, 11 the difference. So 11 the difference, 44-45. Anybody who believes in those sorts of statistics who's watching the coverage, 11 the difference, double 4 plays double 5. It still remains the same. although it should now be up by 2 for the Great Brits. It is. It was Ian Sagar, who's now got 14 points. 9 the difference, and we've got 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, GB are up the floor a bit more, trying to pressure the ball, but did a very poor job there. Got it over halfway very easily.
This has been an imposing performance by Canada, finding some special qualities through adversity. Ball with Hedges, delivered by Lancia. And the shot is in. Well done too. Well, that was Richard Peter for 5 points. And it's now 57-46. This is going to be quite conceivably a double-figured result. And a 5-point final term so far for Great Britain. That hurts big time, and the bloke you're watching couldn't give a rat's toss bag about how much it hurts because he's coaching the winners.
Yeah, no, he's done a really good job to bring your team back into this game, and they've just run away with it.
Off the glass, he loves those. That's his favourite shot. And of course, we're talking about John Pollock, 26 points. 57-48, a minute and a half to go. And the sting has really been taken out of this game. At three-quarter time, we sensed a close finish, Jerry. Not to be.
Canada's taken control of the game. They've looked after the defensive end and controlled the tempo on the offense.
We've got some pretty big boys down there offensively too. Some pretty big boys. We talk about the Australians who've got some huge monsters down there. So too have the Canadians.
Yeah, got a couple of big guys there. So Nevon, he's a giant guy. He's a three-pointer. He's a very, very, very high amputee.
There's your mate.
There he is, very high amputee. He's strapped in, 2 or 3 straps around the stumps of his legs there to keep him very solid. He's very, very tall.
So does this man, Adam Lancia, 18 points and 3 assists. Oh, he's a big boy all right too. He's at the stripe, settles. Lancia has 19 points. He only had 2 points at quarter time. Very slow start. Then 6 in the next quarter, 7 in the third quarter, and so far 4 in this quarter. Make it 5. So it's 59-48, 11 the difference, almost into the last minute of this Rollers World Challenge match at the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Centre between the victors Canada, who were down at quarter, half and three-quarter time. But when it counts, they've made the play in the final quarter. They have, in this final quarter, 23 points to Great Britain 7. That's a reasonable stat.
It's a great stat if you're Canada. I think it's not a very good stat if you're GB, obviously.
And they're quite content to hang on to it now.
GB very disappointed with this effort, the second half effort.
Yep, some work from Murray Tressida. Lancia kisses off the glass for 2 points, and he becomes the highest point scorer for Canada with 22. And they get it out over double figures to 13 points now. It should hang on because only 30 seconds of play remaining. And we've got some 15 seconds on the shot clock. Pollock inside, searching for some options, and they haven't presented themselves too often today. On this occasion, it does. And it's Lee Mannings with his first 2 points. The margin 11, 20 seconds of play remaining. This is going to be a big win.
No, it will be a big win. Canada have come home strong in the second half and come home with a wet sail there and just ran over the top of GB. They jumped onto JP, made sure he couldn't get an easy shot away, and that's kind of dried him up.
Canada with Lancia on 22, Rouliard on 20 and Hedges on 14. For Great Britain, Pollock on 26 and Sagar on 14. They're the 2 best point scorers. And Smile, come on.
Come on, Art, give us a song.
Art, do that to me one more time. Richard Peter. The evenness as Pollock goes off. What a star he's been. Here's the Grizzly one. Gets the first. 6 points for him. Gets ready for 2. 17.9 seconds of play remaining and the dozen lead. That's what it is. 12 points. Make that 13. Richard Peter now has 7. Canada on their way to one of their most impressive victories over Great Britain. Australia playing, of course, Canada to win the Paralympics gold medal in Beijing and recently won the Paralympics Cup. Canada, without Patrick Anderson and without Joey Johnson, are still looking as if they will be a very powerful nation. The Great Britain getting their act together and hoping to get it ready for the London Paralympic Games in 2012. And with 2.1 seconds of play remaining, they'll hold the ball, and that will be the final siren. And what an extraordinary last quarter. Canada rushing back after trailing at quarter time by 8, half time by 8, three-quarter time by 5. They won the game by 13. Canada